It must have been midnight when I dropped home. I turned the lights off to avoid awake Harry's pop, but I noticed that his light still on. So he was awake. I parked the car and entered in the house very carefully. I turned the lights on when I opened Harry's room quietly and looking. He was lying on his bed. He said, Timber, Timber, come here. He spoke slowly, whispering each word carefully, separately. Stop! Wait a moment, Timber. I could hardly hear what he was saying. What's the matter, Harry? Shh, he whispered. Shh, don't make a noise. I couldn't understand what is happening, but I did everything that he said. Don't touch the bed, he said. He was wearing a pair of pajamas and he was sweating terrible. What is it, Harry? A crate, he said. A crate? Oh my God! Where did it bite you? How long ago? Be quiet, he whispered. I haven't been bitten, he whispered. Not yet. It's on my stomach, lying there asleep. I asked him, how did it get there? He said, I was reading on my bed when I felt something on my chest. I saw this little crate sliding over my pajamas, small, less than a foot long. As a matter of fact, it wasn't a surprise thing for a crate to do. They wait around people's house and they go for the warm place. The surprise thing was that Harry hadn't been beaten. The bite is quietly. All right, Harry, I said. Don't move. We'll fix it. No time.
I left the room and brought a knife. If Harry caught or moved or did something to frighten the crate and got bitten, I was going to be ready to cut the bitten place and try to suck the poison out. I thought the best idea was pull the sheet back very gently, but Harry said that the light would frighten it. Harry said, why don't you get a doctor? That's great, I said. I'll get Garderby. I found Garderby's phone and called him. Garderby arrived and walked across the floor. The doctor said, the first thing is to try to get some of the serum into him with a needle. Ganderby said, I'm going to give you some serum. You'll feel the needle, but try not to move. Don't tighten your stomach muscles, let them go loose. Ganderby held the needle almost flat against Harry's arm. Then the doctor thought that we must give an anesthetic to the creature. Gatherby asked me to drive to his home and bring a bottle of chloroform. I drove fast as I can, and in about 15 minutes I was back with the bottle of chloroform. Gunderby began to pull a little piece of the sheet out from under the bed. Then he signaled with his head for me to come closer and he whispered, tell him I'm going to put it all over the bed. It will be very cold under his body. He must be ready for that, and he must not move.
Ganderby poured a few drops of chloroform into the tube and waited. Then he poured some more. Then waited again, and the heavy, sickly smell of chloroform spread out all over the room. He said, we'll give it 15 minutes, just to be safe. It's probably asleep already. Harry's smiling muscle began to move. Then, we took each side of the sheet and pulled it back together very slowly. There was nothing on his stomach. We pulled the sheet back faster. Ganderba said, don't move. It may be anywhere. So suddenly Harry jumped, and we both thought he had been bitten, but he was alright. Ganderby asked Harry if he was quite sure about the crate. Harry stood on his bed in his pajamas, looking angry at Ganderby, and the color began to spread all over his cheeks. Are you telling me a liar? He shouted. Ganderby remained completely still, watching Harry. Harry took a step forward onto the bed, and there was a shining look in his eyes. Don't listen to Harry, I said. These things made him so upset that he doesn't know what he's saying. We went down the steps and across to where his car was parked. And he opened the door and got in. You did a wonderful job, I said. Thank you very much for coming. All he needs is a good holiday, he said quietly, without looking at me. Then he started the engine and drove off.